Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Virtual MOSI. So I know earlier this week we had kind of released a picture of this instrument right over here. There were a few people that did get the instrument correct whenever we did say what kind of instrument can you play without touching it, and that is what is called a theremin. Some people probably haven't even heard of a theremin yet, but that's what I'm going to do today, is explain what a theremin is and kind of how it works, because it is a very interesting instrument because you don't actually have to touch it to play it. We're all used to things like guitars and other instruments like that where we have to physically touch it, strum the strings. We either have to blow into a thing like a clarinet, anything like that where we actually have to touch it in order for it to make that sound. But for this one, we're kind of interacting with the area in between the instrument to create that sound. So let me tell you a little bit about it. So this is, again, called a theremin. It was created by someone named Leon Theremin in the 1920s. So quite a bit ago. What he did is he was interested by Tesla and his Tesla coil and the energy that was created around it. He wanted to figure out a way to take that energy and make it into something. So what he did is he created the theremin. So again, this is the first ever electric instrument created. It was created in 1920. That was well before the electric guitar. So most people think that like the electric guitar or something similar is the first electric instrument. This is the first one. Definitely those guitars are a lot more popular and more common now than the theremin. One of my favorite things about the theremin is there were actually a whole bunch of other instruments that he created as well. He wanted to create an entire electromagnetic orchestra. I thought that was pretty cool. But today we're just going to be focusing on the theremin. What this does is we interact with these two antennas. We have this flat one over here and this nice tall one over here. What these do is they are creating an electromagnetic wave, so just creating electricity out around here. Right now it is actually creating sound, but we cannot hear it because it is above our range of hearing. So what we're doing is whenever I put my hand on this part right here, this is going to be changing the volume, so the sound, how loud it is, while this part right here changes the frequency or the pitch. So you can see I go down, the sound goes away. Then I go up and the sound comes back. Okay? So yesterday we did discuss a little bit about pitch with the cups that we had right over here, the red through the purple. Whenever we had more liquid, it had a lower pitch or lower sound. While when we had less liquid, we had a higher pitch. So this kind of does the opposite to that. Okay, so what we're doing here is we have something that right here that we're interacting with. It is called a capacitor. In electric guitar, the capacitors are two plates together with either some sort of air or another type of metal in between, interacting with those two metal plates. Here we only have one metal plate, and our hand is acting as the other part of the capacitor. So technically, we're part of the instrument that we're playing. I think that's pretty cool. So whenever I put my hand over the top of it, I'm creating the electricity flowing in between me and this plate over here. So whenever I do turn it on, since we are a conductor, we do have electricity running through our body. We're able to interact with that, electricity field right here. And we're doing the same thing over here. So again, I'm acting as part of the instrument by putting my hand in the field that this is creating over here. Okay? So, something cool about this is considered, this is a sort of a half of a capacitor. So whenever we do that, we are acting as the other part. So there are a few people in the world that actually can play these instruments. They are very, very difficult because the slightest movement can change the sound completely. So whenever I do, this instrument right here is pretty cool. So down over here on this little screen, it actually plays very similar to a piano or a keyboard. It has the same notes, same scales, same everything like that. So if you do play the piano or keyboard, I would try to see if you could maybe learn to play one of these. They're relatively, same notes and everything like that, but it takes a little bit of time to figure out how to play it. So even though right here, if I have my hand completely on the other plate right here, and there's no sound, so I pretty much have the volume off, there are still the scales going down on the screen. So you can see all the different notes that I'm creating along here. But that is because it is well below our level of hearing. It's something that we can't hear. It's just too low. Like I mentioned earlier, when I'm not even interacting with it, it is still creating a sound, but it is too loud for us to hear it. But when I have my hand on here, it's just too low. We can't hear it either. So that's why I have to add the space in between so the electricity can flow between me and the metal capacitor. Okay. So if anyone does have any questions on how this does work, please do let me know. But what I'm going to do now is kind of relate this back to what we were doing yesterday. So yesterday we did create some different instruments. Let me get a few. And with these ones, remember, we learned that whenever we have more of something inside of it, it's going to create a higher or a lower pitch or sound. Can anyone tell me? Let's see. Okay. So whenever you have more of something in there, it's going to create a lower sound, lower pitch. So remember from the things we made yesterday, we could tell the difference between the amount of space we had in between of what we put inside. Same with the shoebox guitar we made yesterday. The amount of space we had in between, the amount of strings, anything like that is going to change the sound of how the instrument is made. Okay, does anyone have any questions? None yet? Okay, but if you do have any questions, feel free to put those in the comment section, and we will definitely get back to you. So the question I have for you today for next week's video is going to be put on the screen at the end of the video. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.